everyone, my name is Rico and welcome to my show, the Flat Earth Rico podcast, sending from Vienna, Austria. Maybe you're wondering now that this episode will be in English as I invited an international known guest. Please welcome Mr. David Wise from the YouTube channel Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. It's a great honor, a big pleasure having you here on my channel, Dave. I'm a huge fan of yours and I've been watching almost all your interviews with another podcast channels for years now. So please, Dave, tell us who you are and why are you doing that?
Why am I doing that? That's a great question, but you know why. When you discover that everything you've been taught is a lie, some people can't handle that truth. Other people, when they see it, might be upsetting at first, but then it empowers you. And the analogy, do you guys have The Matrix over there with Keanu Reeves, the movie? Yeah.
It's
So
very
it's The Matrix is an analogy for what this world really is. And Neo, at the beginning of The Matrix, he was plugged into the mind matrix and he's lost in a fantasy world that's not real. But he unplugs himself from the matrix and takes back his power. And that's what discovering that we don't live on a spinning ball flying through an infinite space vacuum does. When you find out that we are at the center of creation, that we are powerful spiritual beings, it changes everything. So, we were talking before the show, and I said, anybody that finds out that the earth is flat and doesn't become a little obsessed with it, you might have some issues. You might have some problems because once you see it, it frees your mind. Just like in The Matrix. Again, Morpheus says, free your mind, Neo. Well, learning about this frees your mind.
And it's not so difficult. If I can do this, anyone can do it. It's not so easy. It's just logical thinking. And what I want to know, Dave, because I like to introduce to my German-speaking audience, but it's English. In the next show, I will make a new form. I will talk about it in German with another guest, And what, since when are you doing this? Are you always been a flat earther? Who was David before he discovered the flat earth?
I live in the USA, right near New York City. I went to college. I worked in corporate America. I climbed up to the top of the company I worked for. Then that company was bought out, and I started my own company doing the same thing. And I became the CEO of my own company. I had the American dream. I was making tons of money, all as well. And at the same time, I was doing a podcast, a truth-seeking podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, where we were looking at many of the deceptions of this world, like money. Where does money come from? That's a huge deception. And, and a lot of the big events, the thing that happened in New York and other things. And then people started sending me in 2015 stuff about flat earth. And like any smart person, I just deleted those emails and banned those people from posting on our social media for being so stupid, right? Like flat earth. Of course, we know the earth is a globe. Boats go over the horizon. Sticks and shadows prove the curvature of the earth, seasons, sunsets, all of these things that I thought were proofs of the globe. I was brainwashed into believing that they are proofs of the globe, when in fact they don't prove the globe, and most of them prove flat earth. So it wasn't until I got sick and tired of people saying, Dave, have you looked into flat earth, that I decided to look into it with a closed mind to shut it down. I'm going to just prove the earth is a globe. That's easy. And I'm going to disprove flat earth. And that's how you become a flat earther.
Yeah, and for me, it was a 9 months process to accept the flat earth. This was back in 2017. You told us your story that you were also you were an atheist. Can you tell us something about more about it?
I never called myself an atheist, other than I didn't believe in God. I believed in what science, which is really scientism. They use the word science, but it's not really science. They tell us things without any proof, and they tell us it's science. A guy in a lab coat with a bow tie says, boats go over the curve because the earth is round. I thought that was science, but that's just pseudoscience. That's scientism. So what was the exact question? What
Um, you mentioned that you were like an atheist,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
with
atheist, atheist. Got it. And so I looked into all different religions growing up, and I just couldn't buy it. I was spiritual. I believed, in good things. I was a good person. But then when I started looking into flat Earth, and I realized, wow, the Earth is not a ball. The Big Bang is a lie. Evolution's a lie, and this place is intelligently designed. And then it hit me. I'm like, it's intelligently
yeah.
designed, therefore there's a creator. Now, who that creator is, that's I never cross that line with anybody. Find out there is a creator and then figure it out yourself. That's everyone's personal journey on how
Yeah,
they
yeah.
relate and relate to the creator.
It's like the reflecting light from the sun. It's the sun of God. But maybe we can talk later about deeply about the sun. Um, Next point. Why it's so important to talk about flat Earth today? Because there are many other problems. Or what benefits can I get from it? And why should I not start to do my research tomorrow? Why now?
Well, with all of the craziness that's going on in the world, the way they have gotten away with the insanity, and I'm not going to really mention what it is. Everybody knows because YouTube, with their censorship, won't allow this to go. Um, it's the way they got away with it is because people are lost. They're spinning out of control. They're lost in space, right? If you believe in the heliocentric model, you believe that you're spinning in all these different directions at once. You're flying through space. You're an infinite
Yeah, yeah,
speck, a speck in an infinite universe going at ridiculous speeds in four different directions. You're insignificant. So so what does that have to do with what's going on in the world? If you're lost in space, spinning out of control, and you feel like you're worthless, you're nothing, there's no meaning to life, that depowers you. But when you discover that the Earth is flat, it's not the shape that matters. Yes, there's hills and valleys, that the Earth is a
yeah,
level plane. It's at the center of creation. That brings you closer to the Creator. That brings you. It says, "Hey, wake up! You're an important, powerful being. You have amazing powers." The elite don't want us to know the power that we have in our minds, what our minds can do. Our minds create our world. Right now, you're creating your podcast, right? You've been thinking
yeah,
about
yeah.
it, you've been doing it, and now it's starting to manifest. It's coming. When I started my podcast, we had no listeners, we had nobody. Okay, and now, you know, I had I was telling you before, I had the American dream. I had my own company, CEO, making
Mhm.
tons of money. Things are going great. Business is on its way up, and I walked away from all of it because I
Leave it
realized
all away.
that doesn't matter, and that's insanity. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
crazy in my former view of the world, and I couldn't be happier. Life is fantastic. Even during this nonsense that's been happening since 2020. I'm life is truly amazing. I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to wake up. But
And
I'm
it
not
can
waiting.
be
I'm moving forward.
amazing.
I'm moving
Yeah,
forward. I don't sit and wait. I just keep going. So, you have a choice to make your future. All of this nonsense could be over tomorrow if people woke up. And the reason I like talking about flat earth is because when you wake up to flat earth, boom, you wake up to everything. I was waking people up to
yeah,
all of the false flag events and they go right back to sleep. They go to work. You wake them up to
yeah.
flat
That's
earth,
problem.
that's it. They become obsessed. They realize all of everything, all of our history is a lie. If you
Yeah,
looked into Tartaria, which I'm sure you have, it's truly amazing how big the lie is. In the 1920s, about 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago,
a big cataclysm.
everybody, everybody knew the earth was flat.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
tell us
And
we've known for 2,000 years that it's a globe. So why the lie? Why the lie? Because they're hiding God. They're hiding your who you are. They're hiding your true power. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding that the world is not overpopulated. They're hiding that there's more land. Okay?
yeah,
So
and we have no problem with these dinosaur Jews, for example. Um, this is also a lie, or there's no meteorite out there because there is no space. And we go on this topic deeper. I want to ask first, what will happen if we get all our human rights back tomorrow? How do we prepare our future generation?
what if you mean so when when tyranny happens, when there's people that somehow have control, even though they don't really. The only control anyone has over you is in your imagination. Okay. Imagine everybody in the world watch this podcast tonight. Okay. Everyone in the world watch Rico's
10 billion
podcast.
people.
10,
10
10
billion.
billion people. I doubt there's 10 billion people on Earth. I think it's far, far less, but that doesn't matter. Everybody watches it and everyone goes, you know what? Rico and Dave are right. Screw it. And we're no longer listening to the government. Government's dead. They have zero power. They have nothing, right? The
Yeah.
only power they have is what you are willing to let them do. And people are like, well, they do have power. They can force us. They can't force you to do anything. Okay. You have to play
Yes.
by the rules. There's rules here. And it has to do with this whole maritime law thing where everything is offers and contracts. And that basically, when you're offered something, you can't say no. You have to say, okay, yes, I'll do that under these conditions. And you make the conditions so ridiculous that's a no, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
that's a whole nother topic to get into.
And it's very important to get into it. Please explain what you think what souls are. You can explain it so well. Please, what are souls?
Souls. So I believe
Souls, yeah.
our soul is the currency of this world. Okay. I believe that our souls are money is fake, right? So they just create money out of thin air. And I believe that our souls are the currency of this world. So what do I mean by that? So this body is not who we are. We have our soul that has incarnated here into this realm, into this density, into this layer, for an experience. And basically, our job here is to expand the mind of God, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're here learning and exploring. And if everybody had that attitude, like, hey, let's all help each other. If everybody helped somebody to their left, everybody would be helped. Okay. Except the last guy on the
the
right,
whole
of
change
course.
will be, the whole world will be changed
Yeah,
in a
the whole
good
world
way.
will be changed, but people think that there's scarcity and we're running out of food. I mean, I made two vegetable plots on a little tiny apartment I was renting, 10 by 8 by
Yeah,
10, and I fed the whole neighborhood. I fed the whole neighborhood, and it was literally
really
a dead piece of land that nobody was using. And people
amazing.
don't realize that we live in a magical world. You can take a 50-year-old seed, stick it in the ground, water, the
Yeah,
most precious substance on earth, will fall from the sky, and food will grow out of the
it's
ground.
growing. Yeah,
Okay. So,
amazing.
yeah. So,
We don't have to be scared of all this, yeah,
right.
BS.
So if we got all our rights back, people need to wake up and understand where we are first and who they are. If they gave us all our rights back and everybody still we live in a ball, and global warming is happening, and we're running out of food and we're overpopulated and there's no more oil. All of that are lies. All of that is lies. And so what would happen? We'd go right back into the tyranny that we're in right now. But if everybody woke up and understood where we were, we would have a whole new paradise. The vibration of thought alone would change the world.
Yeah, it's true. I see it also. Um, Good. Going to the topics. You often mention the free baskets. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
One
So
basket only.
yeah, so when you're trying to, when people, when you talk to somebody, and I was that somebody when I first heard about it, you say, there's 100 proofs, so there's thousands of proofs of the globe, and there's no proofs of flat Earth, and that's what everybody thinks because of the brainwashing as when we were children. We're taught that the Earth is a globe, that governments are important, that shopping centers are where you get your food, and without laws and everything else, the world would fall apart. That is not true. Government is here just to control you. Big pharma is here to make you sick so they can sell you their drugs. Everything is inverted because the people that are running this world are literally satanic. They're unbelievable monsters, and they're probably soulless. And a lot of people, just getting back to souls for a second, sell their
Yeah,
souls for fame and fortune, and
yeah,
who is it? Is it Bill? Not Billy. I forget the singer. The whatever one singer. He had a famous interview on 60 Minutes where he said that he sold his soul for his fame. He admitted it, and
yeah. I
it's
know him. Yeah, yeah.
I
I don't know,
Neil
but
Neil
I know.
Young. Neil is it Neil Young?
Yeah,
Neil
yeah.
Young,
No, not
not Neil Young.
maybe, but it's an one of a
whatever.
band or yeah, okay.
It's a
But I know it.
one man guy. I'm just spacing on his name.
Yeah.
So it so the whole soul thing is, you know, they're trying to steal your soul. Here's your job here. Your job here on earth is to maintain control of your soul. That's it. And
Yeah.
expand the mind of God. And the way you do that is you be good, you're honest, and you really look at the world and appreciate it. So back to the three baskets.
Yeah.
When I sometimes I start an interview, I say, hey, we're going to talk about things and we're not going to figure everything out, because sometimes things work on both a flat earth and a globe earth, like east-west
Yeah.
circumnavigation work perfectly on a flat earth and a globe earth, right? So if so that goes into the works on both. Then some things only work on a globe earth, like southern circumnavigation. Unfortunately, it's never
Yeah.
been done, so nothing goes into that basket. And some things only work on a flat earth, like, hey, we can see way farther than the globe would allow. So we go through everything, and at the end of every show, if we keep track, you'll see that nothing ever ends up in the globe
The
only.
ballpark basket.
Nothing,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing ever ends up there. You know, circumnavigation, you know, we go east and west around a magnetic center. Okay.
Mhm.
That this compass, this boat, whatever you want to call it, airplane, is going west. And west is a circle around the center. East is a circle in the opposite direction. South is every direction away from the center. And, you know, here on a flat earth, if I go south, I'm not going to pop up over here. Like a globe says I should. Well, no one's ever done it. So what does that tell you?
Great. And what is your biggest argument? You make so many interviews, yeah. And what is your biggest argument for the flat Earth?
The hardest argument, the biggest argument, the strongest argument. What are you asking?
Yeah, yeah. The biggest, the strongest. What you see as your personal opinion on that?
I mean,
What's the gr
we can see too far. You know, we can see too far. So if the Earth is a globe has to have a physical horizon. Like if a pregnant woman takes a little toy boat and puts it on top of her pregnant belly and then rides it over her navel and underneath, it will disappear from the bottom up because it's going beyond. She's looking down. It's
Yeah,
going beyond a physical horizon. A
yeah,
globe requires a physical horizon. The Earth, which is 24,901 miles around, the globe would require a horizon for a 6 foot tall man standing at the edge of calm water for the horizon to drop down at 3 miles, and they wouldn't be able to see the surface of the water past 3 miles. That's globe math. So so there would have to be a physical horizon. You can't zoom in beyond a physical horizon, but you know, there should be 59 feet of curvature here, but we can see the water well beyond here. Okay. This camera is only a foot off the ground and we can see the water well beyond. So that tells you that it's an optical horizon, right? If you have an
it's
optical,
called the
go ahead.
it's called the Black Swan. Yeah, the Black Swan, and we can
Yeah.
see the horizon so far beyond these platforms, these oil platforms.
And there's many, many other examples of this, not just this, but you know, this is a good one because
Can
these are not
can you
boats,
show
they're
us the
not moving.
clip? Can you show us the clip with Mount Canigou? Because this is a great example that the top of the mountain should be, yeah, one
Yeah.
mile. Yeah,
Yeah, so this is from Aluja, France. There's a famous viewing spot. Mount Canigou is out here 175 miles away. Now, if it was nighttime, you can't see anything. You can't see the house across the street if there's no light. Well, the
yeah,
sunlight is lighting up Mount Canigou. That light has to bounce off Mount Canigou and come to your eyes. Well, that distance, the light just can't push through the thickness of the atmosphere.
mhm,
Okay. So a glober would say, well, you can't see Mount Canigou because the top of the mountain should be a mile below the curve. And you would say, this is the edge of this is the physical horizon, but
physical
this is
horizon.
an optical horizon. This is just where the angular resolution of your eyes come together. And that's where you can see. Now, if you zoom
Yeah,
in, you could open it up. But twice a year, when the sun is migrating between the two tropics, the sun goes right behind it. And because the sun's light is more powerful and can push through, it backlights Mount Canigou, and the top here should be over a mile below the
yeah,
curve, but it's not. It's right there. The Globers will say it's refraction, it's a
Refraction.
mirage, but mirages don't block the sun. Mirages
Mhm.
don't hold their position, don't remain solid. So, it's not a mirage, right?
Great, great. Thank you, Dave. And yeah, next point is because the first time at the start I thought also years ago that the Earth is a globe because we have pictures and then you look up, what do we see? But because we don't say that is fake, we prove that it's fake. We show you that it's fake. And why we should not trust NASA?
Why do we trust NASA? Well, the only
Why
people that
shouldn't we?
yeah, why shouldn't we trust NASA? That's a whole show in itself. Because they lie and it's provable. And if they lie once, they're done. But they lied a million times, right? All you
Yeah,
have to catch them is faking space once, and then you'll be like, all right, we never went to the moon. But the only people that think that there's images, photos of Earth are people that haven't done any research. NASA admits there are no photographs of Earth. We're somehow able to get photographs of all of the other planets, but no spacecraft has ever turned around and taken a photo of Earth. Well, what's this? This is the blue marble. It was on everyone's iPhone when iPhones first came out. It's the most famous picture, image, but not photograph of Earth from NASA. And they admit that they made it in Photoshop. Now, the creators of the blue marble explain how satellites wrap around the Earth, right? And it's taking pictures, and it only gets a strip at a time. And then there's
yeah,
always a little gap, right? Because the Earth is a globe, and then they have to fill it in. Well, if you think it's a picture, think about this. This satellite comes and takes a picture. It takes 90 minutes to come around before it's over here. How come the clouds don't change? How come the clouds, are what the clouds are
it's a good
waiting? Oh,
question.
that's the wrong one there. We'll talk about that one later. Um, how come the clouds don't move? Like this cloud is in three
Mhm.
different strips. This cloud is in a whole bunch of strips. How come it's all lined up? That cloud wouldn't be there the second time it came around. It would be totally gone. Totally gone.
There are a lot of clips from NASA animations where we can see that the clouds are not moving.
Right, many
Not
times, and all their space shuttle, space station shots. The curve of the Earth changes. It's convex sometimes. It's over curved. It makes
that's a sign of a
absolute
fish island. Yeah,
yes, absolutely
no
right.
sand. And can you tell us something about Werner von Braun? What has he to do with Disney, for example?
Right. Well, just getting back to curvature, this is what
Okay.
NASA shows us. This is what a balloon shows us. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. This is a fisheye lens, or this could just be the frame of a window and they're just shooting out the window and we have a black frame. We've caught them doing that before, if,
Yeah, you have many ways to trick it. You can
yeah,
trick the people.
which photo is from NASA and which ones are from balloons. Okay.
From NASA, I think the picture number two because I
Yeah.
see there a curve.
Yeah. And then NASA will show us, pictures like this. But if you lay that out on the Earth, look how small the Earth must be. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and then, you know, this is like an egg shape. This doesn't even make a globe shape, right? And then NASA will show us a picture like this. This is Lake Tahoe here in the United States. Well, here's an image of Lake Tahoe from a balloon or from an airplane. Okay,
No coverage.
there's no curvature. And how big is Lake Tahoe to have that much curvature? Absolute
Yeah,
insanity,
yeah. We
insanity.
can't find it anywhere. We can't find it anywhere. You can
Yeah,
look for it, but in any altitude, and you can't see the curvature because many say I saw it from the plane.
yeah.
Can you tell us please why you can't see the curvature because they changed it with and another effect with the limit of our vision.
Right. And the Red Bull space jump, said he saw the curvature, and this is just a fisheye lens. The shot from inside the capsule showed a flat horizon at eye level, which is indicative of a flat Earth. But if you take it and tape it to a globe, this is this is this is all Arizona, which is a tiny. It should be a freckle. Arizona
Yeah,
is tiny. It's smaller than the tip of my finger right here. Okay, but
or
somehow
New
it's
Mexico.
covering this much of the curve of the Earth.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
insane.
right before they are live on air, there was two test jumps, and they
Yes.
used another lens, another camera, and you see straight. The horizon was straight in eye level. And why are they using the other lens when there was live?
Right. And
And
yeah, the two test jumps they use they use regular non fisheye lenses, and then they use that um for what we saw on TV. So again, it's all deception, and it's provable deception. It's not just us saying it's fake.
can we go a little deeper in NASA, because we see if someone look up at NASA, they are watching clips from the ISS, from the astronauts there with their experiments, and we are catching them with their technology called augmented reality. Can you show us something that we can show in the first sight that is faked?
Um, yes. The International Space Station has many screw ups. Um, one of them, one of them. This is where Chris
That's my
Hatfield
favorite.
was singing, and this guy, oh, let's put him upside down and wow everybody. It's so cool. These guys are in different rooms, and this guy holding the microphone mistakes. He's in front of a green screen, mistakes where Chris is, and he sticks the microphone directly in his neck. Okay, and nobody they're trying to figure it out, and it's absolute ridiculous what goes on there. So in his neck,
Just
um
one example, yeah.
look at this guy's head. It's transparent because they're fading him
Yeah.
into this fake scene. Or they have lots of times where things turn transparent. The one you were talking about, this is a
Mm.
different one. These guys are
Yeah.
flipping things around and they're talking to everybody and they're always flipping the microphone around. But this guy floats by in the background. He's way away. You don't see him. But I took it and I zoomed way in, and you could see
We
his
see the wire.
harness and the wires, right? And then when after we caught that, NASA, the NASA apologists come out and say, well, they're wearing harnesses for safety.
Yeah,
How do you hang from a harness in a space station? It's like
it
they
does
just
make sense.
make up stuff. It's so stupid. It's so frustrating that anybody believes this. But in the script, this guy's flipping his hat around, and in the script, he's supposed to hand it to the guy in the green, but he makes
Hmm.
a mistake. They're looking at like lenses, and he moves his right hand. He thinks he's passing him the fake hat, and he takes it and puts it away, and he missed it. And then he's like, "Oh no, here's the hat." And then they're like stumbling, fumbling the words afterwards. Okay, this is just repeat. I
Yeah,
have it
yeah.
repeating. Um, it's so it's
And you
so
can see
horrible.
his panic in his eyes. He's
Yeah,
so in panic because
yeah,
he made a mistake.
yep.
Yeah, and that's just one, yeah, few examples which we
Here,
can show
here's
to
another
the
one. Now
normies.
this they mix you up here. This is a ball filled with helium that's kind of weightless. This is a fake object. It's not there, and now it's there. And they even beamed it in like Star Trek. Okay,
Yeah.
and they're talking to kids, and basically she's manipulating things that she sees in her virtual reality contact lenses, or maybe she's got a screen behind the camera, and she's maneuvering things in real
Mhm.
time, and that's easily done. Um, that's easily done. That's how they do it in movies. Um, they do all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, and do we go to the foundation of NASA with, or do you want to show us the tricks or how NASA use like green screen tricks?
This is a facility called the McCode NASA facility. It's a gigantic movie studio, and
Mhm.
NASA does tons of filming there. And they're they can fake anything. Look at this. I mean, this isn't there. This isn't real. Okay. And so the stuff that we're watching, even rocket launches themselves, are not real. Sometimes they launch a real rocket. Now, if there's a smoke trail from the ground all the way up to the rocket, they're launching something real. Nobody is ever on these things. The
Mm.
other times it's a hologram. Other time it's fake. Um, it's super fake. Did you see the Beijing Olympics this year? Not Olympics, the Beijing New Year's Eve.
No, no.
I'll,
Ah,
I'll,
with the project beam.
yeah,
Do
with
you
the
mean that?
so
Yeah.
they're just showing you how all of this stuff can be fake. Look, this isn't real, but people believe it's real. Even the landing of the space shuttle, okay, not real. And by the way, there's sometimes they do land something. This is a jet; it has engines, and when it comes in, when they used the first few times when it came in, there was always escorts, two jet fighters on each side of it following it in. You know why? They needed something to disguise the sound of the engines, right? Because that thing's
Mm.
coming in under power, but they try to disguise it, right? All of this is fake. And this is what people go, well, what about the people that were there? You know, those nobody's there. Okay. They edit film together. If you ever get like amateur video, none of it's real. And the real people are 10, 15, 20 miles away. You know how small the space shuttle is? You can't even see it. Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't even see it. It's so far away. So you don't know what they're launching. You don't know anything, right?
And
And
with this animation, they want to, yeah, the Mars
and
landing.
anything, right? So here, this is just for those of you who haven't seen it. This is Beijing New Year's Eve, right? Oh, look, a rocket. Tell me if this
Yeah.
doesn't look as real as anything that we see from Elon Musk, the fraud, or NASA. This is all fake nonsense.
It's so easy to trick the people,
Yeah.
and nowadays, very easy. But I have seen it. Yeah, it's yeah. You the technology is amazing, and but I think it's just a clip. I don't think that in reality it's in the same quality. What do you think? Do we see the same picture like in this clip in reality, or it's just a clip?
What are we talking about?
About this Beijing
Oh, that
example.
this is what people see. It's all done with projectors. Um, we were looking around, Jaron from Jaronism, and I forget what show it was, but they were looking around at pictures at NASA, and we saw these weird spotlights on the ground, and we zoomed in, and we got like a serial number or a nameplate, and we looked it up online, and it was a holographic projection company. Why
Yeah.
is there a holographic projection company? Um, on NASA's lawn. What are they doing there? And so here's a rocket which I call the Tupac rocket. I don't know if you guys know who Tupac is. Tupac is a rapper. What happened to my? Here I am. So this rocket going up. Look now. There's no smoke trail. There's just smoke coming out of the
Mm.
ground, right? And this thing's just going up. This is a hologram. Okay. And something went wrong. Some people say, well, it's a film. It has to do with the filming, but the top half of the rocket disappeared. Okay. And this is official footage from space. I think it was SpaceX, and the rocket kind of disappears. They have many things that
Glitches or
happen, glitches like that. If you
yeah,
look
yeah.
at what was the other rocket? It was which rocket was it? Here's why I'm looking for it. This is this was a rocket that was launched not that long ago, and watch it. Something went wrong, and it goes sideways.
Yeah.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because this
Hover.
thing is a balloon. It's a
Yeah.
balloon with a little rocket power on the bottom, little thrust to make it go up out of sight, and then they tell you a whole story that it went to space. Right? The cameraman's like looking for it. He's like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's coming up right over here. Right? That's not a rocket flying into space. That is a out of control blimp. And then they just show you this. That's it. That's all you
Yeah.
get.
Cut it away.
Yeah, that's all you get.
You cut it away.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Another examples. Um, can you explain my audience why we know that space is fake? There is no space out there where the ISS is orbiting the Earth.
Well, I mean, first, if you catch NASA faking being on the space station, they could do all weird things. Um, why would they be faking it if it was real? Okay. Everything they show us from space doesn't make any sense. And then again, if you know anything about thermodynamics, pressure needs a container. Okay.
Yeah.
If you suck all the air out of a metal train car, a tanker, it'll just compact on itself. Same thing is if
Hmm.
you fill it with air, it's going to explode. Okay. Things will explode. They tell us that the space station is just this little tin thing. There's zero pressure on the outside. It would explode. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
these pilots that fly at 70,000 feet in these fighter jets, if they get the tiniest little crack in the seal, they pass out. They have to wear full suits, and oxygen. And if they have the tiniest break in pressure, they pass out and they die. Okay. And that's in our atmosphere, just lower pressure. These guys
Hmm.
are in space, zero pressure, in a tin can, and they're just running around, chasing each other in gorilla suits, playing jokes on each other, splashing water
And,
all over the place. They don't do
and
anything. What
you know
has good?
do you know how do they fix an hole in the ISS? How do they fix it?
Yeah,
Like Chris Hadfield.
they use duct tape and gum. Okay,
Yeah, and they
the,
mean it serious.
yeah. Um, there was supposedly a hole in the ISS, and that hole was it looked like this,
Yeah,
right? So Chris Hatfield is it Chris Hatfield? Yeah, that's it, Chris Hatfield.
yeah. Chris Hadfield, 2018
He
was
tweeted this. This is the hole, but this is somebody's record album from years prior. He
yeah,
took the
2014.
same thing and said this was the hole, a close up of the hole. Okay, I mean, space is fake, astronauts lie, and I don't know what else to tell you.
That's everything. And for example, Werner von Braun on his tombstone, there is a Psalm 19:1. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, so Werner von
Yeah.
Braun, the story is he's the Nazi scientist um, that came here to head up NASA. On his gravestone it says Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament showeth his handiwork. It's talking about the dome that's over us.
Yeah.
Why is that the case? Now, the whole thing with Werner von Braun, who knows if that story is even true, because there was no space race. There was no Nazis, scientists, rocket scientists. It's all part of an elaborate plan. And people say, well, why wouldn't the Russians, if we're faking it, why wouldn't they tell us? Or why wouldn't we tell on them? What about the India and China and Japan? They're all in it together. The division of countries is fake. It's all
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, the founders of NASA, hey, let's build a space agency for the betterment of humanity. Let's see who can we get to found it. Oh, we'll get the most wicked man in the world, Aleister Crowley,
Yes.
who's, and then we'll get the scientism, father of Scientology, Ronald Hubbard. We'll get a cartoon animator who's a known pedophile, and we'll get
Mm,
a Nazi scientist, and then Jack Parsons, another occultist, and that's who will make in charge of NASA. Okay, these are occult. All of it is occultic, ritualistic stuff. The astronauts, they're all Freemasons up there. They're doing these rituals. They're doing crazy stuff that I can't even fathom. And
mm.
I'm not going to remember it right, but if you look at all of the names of the space shuttles in order, and I'm actually releasing a video right after this. I did an interview yesterday, and this guy Vinny had came up with this, and I'm gonna mess it up. It says the first one was Columbia, and then Columbia, a Columbia endeavor. That's the second one to
Okay.
discover uh, um, the Atlantis. So Atlantis and discover Atlantis. And then something being destroyed. All challengers will be destroyed, or something like that. If you put them all, it tells a story of exactly what they did. It's all occultic. And am I saying that word right? Occultic. And people that don't believe in that go, oh, that's nonsense. Well, it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. The people that run this world believe it, and they use
Yeah.
it. And that's how they've maintained control. They're fighting a spiritual war that most people don't even think is a possible thing. That's how they're winning. We're lost in space, spinning out of control on a rock that's running out of resources when they know the opposite is true, that we're at the center of creation and abundance is infinite.
Yeah, they want to separate us from the creator, from the cosmos,
100%.
and that's the reason. Why do NASA get every day $16 million?
$65 million.
65. It's
I think it's
rising.
65 or 63, whatever it is. And Werner von Braun, he wrote a
Wrote a
book
book.
about Elon going to Mars in 1950s. And now we have,
Hmm.
this is his book. And now Elon Musk is going to Mars with a very similar looking rocket.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't make this stuff up because nobody would believe it, but that's how what they're doing. They're just making stuff
but
up.
this has something to do with predictive programming.
Oh well,
They
they
put some
use
stuff out there,
right
like
because
1984 in books.
oh yeah, 19, that's a documentary. It's actually we're way past 1984. Um, like Arthur C. Clarke wrote novels about satellites, fake satellites,
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden we have
future.
satellites. In the
Yeah,
1800s, so a royal guy wrote a paper about the idea of dinosaurs. Nobody in all of history had ever discovered a single dinosaur bone, even when they're doing all of the great construction projects from the pyramids, to Angkor Wat, so all of these incredible places. And then a year later to the day that he wrote that paper and published it, he discovered the first dinosaur.
yeah,
If you
and
don't see a problem with that, you're the problem.
dinosaurs. Yeah, they exist. I have a picture of it.
Yeah, dinosaurs. Oh, absolutely. Dinosaurs do exist because you have a picture of it. And all of these things exist because we have pictures of them, right?
Yeah,
I saw a
these are the.
dinosaur. I saw where'd it go? Oh, that's me. I saw a dinosaur walking through the park. There he is.
Yeah,
There's
it's real.
100%
It's
proof.
real.
Dinosaur.
It
Dinosaur.
the technique is so far and so modern that you can trick us in an easy way, and like before. But you have clips with these two tables that are
Oh
small
yeah, yeah,
small
yeah.
experiments, and you can trick it, the mind. It's so easy. Can you show us, please?
Yeah, so when people are saying, hey, the moon is round, this, if you can't touch it and if you can't touch it or measure, if you don't know how far it is or how big it is, and you
Yeah,
can't
you can
touch
prove
it,
it then.
then you don't know. So here's
Yeah,
two tables, and even though you know the trick, these tables are not they don't look the same width or length, but they're exactly the
two
same.
different sizes. Yeah,
They're exactly the same size. And you still
it's
can't see it.
very
Normally,
impressive.
when you show someone a trick, your brain goes, "Oh, I got it," right?
Yeah,
They're the same width and length, both of them. Isn't that
and it's so
crazy?
easy. Yeah, and the people thinks what they see, and they're believing it, but there are
Right,
so many reasons, like the atmosphere, and it depends on the temperature, and many other things.
right. And
And
then
what really
and
show
again, the optics of the sky are no way to prove the shape of the Earth. Looking at the lights in your ceiling does not tell you the shape of your floor.
it related to my floor, yeah.
Yeah.
Good, and the next one, because if I'm talking with normies, yeah, and I ask them about the speed of the rotation of the Earth. Can you explain us the four different directions at the same time of our Earth, what the people is believing in, and the comparison to the hypersonic sled?
Sure. So, excuse me. So to believe in heliocentrism, you have to believe that we're on a ball, and when you're watching the sunset, it's not going down. You're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. You're falling over backwards, spinning in a curved direction. Okay. You're orbiting the sun around 66,600 miles an hour. You're chasing the
Interesting
sun.
comment.
Yeah, an interesting number. You're chasing the sun at almost a 500,000 miles an hour. Let's compare those to the hypersonic sled. This is going to go by a Mach 8.6. One day I'll have sound on this so you can hear it go by.
Mhm.
It's devastating.
So,
And,
yeah, watch the
and
video, the original.
yeah, watch just the hypersonic sled track test, and it'll come right up. That we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. 10 times faster. Okay. That
Can even
is,
see it.
yeah. And we're chasing the sun a 100 times faster than that in a curved, speeding up and slowing down trajectory. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're spinning, we're orbiting, we're chasing, and the entire galaxy is moving in another direction. We're moving 4 different directions at once. And then we go out in nature, which doesn't lie, like astronauts and presidents and politicians and, bad people. Nature
Yeah.
doesn't lie. This is a still lake, right? Get a dinner
Yeah.
plate, fill it with water, and try to just stand still. You can't. Try to walk across the room. Try to take a drive in a car with a dinner plate filled with water, right?
Difficult. Yeah.
Difficult.
To balance it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people go, well, I'm on an airplane. I can drink a glass of water. I'm like, take the top off the airplane, double the speed. That's just the spin of the earth. Then have the airplane dive down at a mile every 2 minutes and tell me how your glass of water is doing.
Yeah, it doesn't make
Because
sense.
when an airplane
And
is flying, it would have to nose down to not fly off into space. If it just went straight for an hour, it'd be 80,000 feet in the air. It would have to nose down, but the gyroscope tells it that it's level the whole time. Gyroscopes hold rigidity in space. Pilot goes out onto the runway, spins up his gyro. He says, okay, that's level. And so when the plane takes a turn, the gyroscope stays level. When it dips down, the gyroscope stays level. Okay. And that's how he knows what orientation he is to the flat earth below him.
But what pilots say about it?
What do pilots say about it?
Yeah, about the gyroscope, because it's obviously that
Most
they
of
are
them don't
flying
know.
out.
Most of them don't know. And, now the globe apologists will say, well, there's a special device in there that accounts for curvature. Not true. And even if it was true, which it's not, before that, early on in aviation, they didn't have that and it worked. Okay. And there's many stories now that device that supposedly does that on one plane, it wasn't working. And the control tower said, that's all right, just take off anyway. And he went halfway around the world. Well, his gyroscope would have been like this instead of like this,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
There was a pilot from the KLM who told the people that the Earth is flat, and she found it out after 20 years of being a pilot.
And she was grounded the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple pilots. One of them, a retired woman, she's out there, explaining the whole thing, and she doesn't care. But we interviewed a KLM pilot, and then the next day she was grounded, and we haven't heard from her again. She was told to shut up, and many of the pilots do know. A lot of pilots don't know because they're out there. They take off, they get to altitude, and then the control says change it to 197, and they press the button, and then they read a book. Okay, and they play cards.
Really, NASA is in charge, yeah, over all GPS and
right. NASA's in charge of GPS. NASA's in charge of radar. NASA's in charge of flight routes. So, NASA, the liars that we've proven are liars, are in charge of where airplanes go, right? And if we look at Southern flights, Southern flights prove that we don't live on a globe, because if you're in the south, on the bottom half of the globe, you're going from a south location to a south location, you would just go to that location rather than go all the way up to the north. This is the flight route that goes from here to here. Why does it go all the way up there? Okay. Never on a globe, 2 locations in the north or 2 locations in the south would they ever have to cross the equator. Okay. On a flat earth, let's look at those flight routes. That makes sense.
Straight line.
Right? Straight line. So again, from here, southern locations, this would be the most optimal route on a globe, but the actual flight routes are nothing like that. They go all the way up to there. This is
Mhm.
the equator's right here. Why did they cross the equator twice to go from one southern location to another? Let's look at that on a flat Earth. And again, it's a straight line.
Yeah, makes
Okay.
so much more sense.
Yeah. From here, from Sao Paulo to Johannesburg. That's Sao Paulo? I think so. I can't, it's hard to say. Um,
Yeah, Sao Paulo and yeah,
yeah. And
and
it
South
goes
Africa.
all the way up here. That's
No, no,
crazy. And when you look at that on a flat Earth, what do you think we're going to say?
straight line.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show it. Um, it just makes absolute no sense
And
on a globe.
if there are flights only on the north ball, yeah, they're flying from one point to another point, yeah, and they stay in the north, but from south to south, why do they cross twice the equator? Yeah, and we have 16 emergencies which prove that the Earth is flat.
Right. So there's a book by Flat Earth Banjo YouTube channel that he documented 16 different emergency landings that, again, basically show what I was showing there. Like, for example, um, there was this flight from China to Taiwan. Is it, that's no, Taiwan to LA. Sorry, Taiwan to
Yeah.
LA, and it stopped up in Alaska for the emergency. Well, look at the route. It's right along that flight route. Now, some people will say, well, the
Mhm.
flight was closer to there. It's ridiculous. A lot of a couple of emergency landings landed in Moscow. Well, where's
Yeah.
Moscow on the flat Earth map? It's right on the line between the
Mhm.
origin and the destination. Um, Here's another one, right? Again, stopped in Calgary from Dallas to Beijing. Why is it stopping there? Well, Calgary is right along the flight route.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's many of these that make absolute no sense. Again, another stop in
Good.
Moscow on a flat Earth. It makes perfect sense,
These
right?
are real good pictures for what you have here as examples for showing
Stopped in,
us
yeah. This one stopped in
how
Seattle,
crazy.
kind of I don't know, 1,000 miles out of the way, or was it right on the way? Okay.
Yeah.
Again, there's so many, southern flights prove the Earth is flat. And my favorite is, Santiago to Australia, right? But if you want
Yeah.
to go to Western Australia, the trip goes all the way up over here, over to China, Singapore, and down. And on a flat Earth map to get to Western Australia, it goes all the way up across China, Singapore, straight line. Okay. But on
Yeah.
a globe, it's this ridiculous crossover into the
Great
northern
circle.
hemisphere. It makes no sense. Now, here's something: never, ever, without exception, do a flight that takes off anywhere in the north going to anywhere else in the north does the flight ever cross the equator. If the earth was a
Yeah.
globe, you'd have the same thing. You'd have these dips going down and up. Never ever anywhere. Okay? And now the globe apologists will go, well, that's because 90% of the people live in the north and there's, more demand, and these flights in the south, they got to go to pick up other passengers or they route them through hubs. Well, there's plenty of people that want to go from Santiago to Australia, a full plane load. Why wouldn't they just
Mhm.
take a shortcut? Because there is no shortcut. The earth is flat. Those 2 points are the farthest points away from each other on our known world.
And there are also Qantas airline which flew or fly directly from Santiago to um, Melbourne or Australia. And how is it this possible?
Well, so again, people you have to believe that since the 1970s, planes haven't gotten any faster. There's only one plane, one model plane that does it. Is run by three or four military pilots,
Mhm.
and this plane has 7 layers of heat resistant paint on it. What does that tell you? Okay,
Yeah.
and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Um, where does my I had a video that I wanted to show you on that. Um, oh, I can show you this. So so they also take advantage of wind. There's circular winds up there at 40,000 feet that are going 200 to 300 miles an hour. So they get in the tailwind on that. And on one way from Santiago to Australia, it's 5 hours shorter than the other way. Well, why is that? Okay, why
Yeah.
is that? And it's because they're taking advantage of these winds. And these planes fly a couple hundred miles an hour faster than they tell us, and that's all you need. We tracked
Yeah.
Max Egan. Um,
This.
he was going and he took compass readings along the way. Now he was going from Santiago. He expected to be going like southwest underneath the ball, and then
Mhm.
a little bit northwest and come over to Australia. But his compass readings showed northwest, northwest, west just for a split second, and then west, south, southwest, southwest, south, and got there. And so we plotted that out on a flat Earth map. Again, another straight line from the origin to the destination. How many times do you need that to happen before you can say, um, before you realize that the Earth is flat? Again, this book free online PDF, or go to lulu.com and order the coffee table book. It's in color. It's amazing. And it's worth it because anybody that picks it up becomes a flat earther. And that, to me, that's worth $40.
Very good, very good. Um, so let's start showing proofs, not proofs. How do we think the flat Earth works? Can you explain us how do seasons work on a flat Earth? And maybe you can show us the best tool which anyone can use it. The Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's your app, yeah,
Yeah.
which you created it years ago.
Yeah, and it's being created. It's doing new things every day, and I'll show you a new feature that just is coming out, maybe even tomorrow, from the date of this recording. I just almost done testing it. So here's
Okay.
how. Here we're looking down at the flat Earth. Wherever the sun is, that's where it's noon. So right now in Eastern Australia, the sun is rising, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. Okay,
Yeah.
and the sun goes around once a day, right? And now here's the moon, and the sun is slowly outpacing the moon 28 times around, and it'll lap the moon. Let me speed it up.
Mhm.
And as it's going, you'll see that the moon is fading back and it's getting bigger and bigger. So the moon, its position and its phase keep track of the weeks and the months. The sun keeps track of the hours and the days. And right now, there's a full moon right there when they're opposed to each other. Very powerful, energetic time when there's a full when the moon and the sun are at in alignment with each other. So and now the moon is waning, getting smaller and smaller. Let me slow it down. I'm going to turn on the stars. The stars do the same thing. The stars are going just slightly faster than the sun. So right now, the sun is in this zodiac and it's falling backwards into this one. It takes about a month to go through a zodiac because the zodiac it's just going slightly faster. The zodiac will lap the sun once every 365 days. Okay? So the stars, their position in the sky, they keep track of the seasons and the years, right? You go out tonight, anyone listening to this, go out tonight, look at the stars, make a little star chart, say, okay, I'm sitting here at the corner of my house, and that star is right here at 10:07 p.m. And just make a little star chart and then set an alarm for a year later, same night, same time, and go out, and those stars will be in the exact same
Same
position. In the
solution.
heliocentric model, we're corkscrewing through space. All the other stars are corkscrewing in all their own different directions. And we've traveled 4.5 billion miles, and somehow the stars all reset. That's because you're not thinking.
How is
If you
this
think,
possible?
well, they're so far away, it doesn't make a difference. Well, that's scientifically provable untrue because our eyes can't see things that far. It's just impossible. Scientifically, provably possible. So let's talk about seasons real quick. So the
Please, yeah.
sun right now, the sun is just inside this yellow line. This yellow line is called the Tropic of Capricorn, and On December 21st, it was right over the Tropic of Capricorn, so it went right over Australia. They're in the height of their summer. The sun is high above their heads, high, direct, close to them. It's not the angle so much as the proximity, right? And it's winter here. You're in Germany, right? Germany?
Austria.
Austria. It's cold there, right?
Very cold.
Yeah. So that's because the sun is so far away from us. It's far away. But 6 months later, I'll move the sun to June, July. The sun is much closer to us.
Yeah.
So now it's our summer. And because it's closer, it's higher in the sky, right? If you're standing under a streetlight, that's your summer sun. And if you look at the streetlight way down the road, it's lower in the sky. It's farther away. That's your summer. That's your winter sun. The streetlight over your head is your summer sun. The one over there is your winter sun. And if you could move that streetlight over to you, that streetlight would get higher and higher and higher. Even though it's at the same height, it just would look higher and higher and higher. And that would be your summer sun. It's closer to you. That's how seasons work. It takes 6 months for the sun to go out and 6 months for the sun to come back.
And why do you think the world is working like your model? Because scientists, the so-called scientists, told us that because of the tilting, because of the tilt of the planet, this is the reason we have seasons. But why doesn't it work out?
Yeah, so the whole tilt idea is ridiculous, right? The sun is 93 million miles away. Its light rays are coming to us. And just because we're tilted a little farther away, that's going to disperse the sun that much because, you're tilted away. So that same light ray is spread over a bigger area. Cool story. But the problem is the sun light, any light, it spreads out geometrically, getting thinner and thinner. It's called the inverse square law of light. And every time you double the distance to a light, it's 1/4 of the brightness. Okay. Mm-hmm. 1/4 of the brightness every time you double it. It's ridiculous to believe in that. And then here, and you guys, you can do the same thing. Go out today. We're near our winter solstice when the sun's over Capricorn. And at the highest point of the day, solar noon, when the sun is as high in the sky as you can get it. So just think of the angle that the sun is coming at you. Look at the sun, and you can't even feel the heat on your face. It's very cold, at least where I am. So you can't feel the heat. Let's say it's 50 degrees off the horizon. And did you know that in the helio-nonsensical model that they tell us we live in, during our winter in the north, the sun is 3.5 million miles closer. But let's just skip that because that's only like 3% closer. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're looking at it, you can't feel it. But then in June, on June 21st, in the summer, when the sun appears on the horizon, you can feel the heat immediately. Now think about that. It's not 50 degrees in the sky. It's 1 degree off the horizon. And you can feel the heat blasting on your face. And within minutes, you can lay down and catch some sun and take a nap, whatever. Okay? That debunks the whole tilted theory 1,000% once you wrap your mind around this simple concept.
And it's so easy to explain to anyone who is interested in with this app. So it's so everyone has a phone and can take it with it anywhere. And
right. And then every day there's a new video that pops up here. And here's what I tell people. I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe.
Yeah.
Right. 1 proof of the globe. You get 3 Bitcoins. All you have to do is watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you still think the Earth is a globe, send me your proof and you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you got to hit this button right here, the question mark, and up comes frequently asked questions. Like, hey, what about eclipses? Hey, what about seasons, which we just talked about? What about ships over the horizon, right? If I hit ships over the horizon, up comes the YouTube app, and here are videos that Google doesn't want you to see. They don't want you to see these, right? And these videos will teach you what you're seeing, and it'll show you how to do whoops.
And you can save so many times.
Yeah. And so that's the frequently asked questions. There's also flat Earth merchandise, flat Earth stuff that interests us. Anybody, if you're looking for T-shirts, if you're looking for stuff made by other flat earthers, If you're looking for information on cryptocurrencies, so you got a nice T-shirt there. Um, all sorts of stuff. My T-shirt shop is right at the top left there. Um, you can get all sorts of stuff. But T-shirts are a way to
Is it
start the
possible?
conversation.
Is
What's
it
that?
possible? Some items, some textiles from the U.S. sending to Europe, to Germany or Austria. Is this possible?
Some of the T-shirts you're talking about.
Yeah, from your shop.
The company that makes them, I believe they print in Europe also. So if you'll click it and it'll let you know if it can ship to you. Lots
Okay,
of them
okay, I will
can.
try it.
Um,
Okay.
there's also different playlists in different languages. Do I have what language
Yeah,
do you
you have
speak?
also an empty space for German. There's Deutsche.
Oh, wait, I have
It's still
German.
empty. Yeah, yeah, left in the mid, right on the left side
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
mid.
Oh,
There
wait
is
a minute. I
Deutsche.
thought I had a
Yeah.
playlist in here. Maybe
I think it's empty.
it's empty. How about this? Why don't you make a playlist and we'll put your videos in here?
Yeah, it would be a great idea.
Do you have German flat Earth videos that you can make a playlist of?
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of bunch of
But not just
playlists.
yours and any other ones that you found that are
Yeah,
good.
from deep inside the rabbit also, I have the whole playlist on my
Well,
channel also.
yeah, but I'm talking about that ones that are in German.
In German, I have some. Yeah, yeah, I have a playlist. I can send
So
it to you
so
later.
make a playlist that has German videos on it. Always keep adding to that playlist, and I will link your playlist to that button. So anytime you find a new video, add it to that playlist, and that
Yeah,
way
I can do.
other people that have trouble with English, they can do that. So let's talk about let's do that. So send me that list, and I'll add it right to the app. Another thing
Very
in
good.
here is the friend finder. Have you used that to see if there's any people near you?
I have also a friend finder story, like you often mentioned in the other interviews. And few months ago, when you right start this new function, I contacted other guys around my area, and I don't think it's a coincidence, yeah, because I asked them look at my channel, yeah, and later they watched my video and they asked me, hey, you're a former colleague of me when I was 4 years ago at the same company like you, and the world is so small. I knew him, but at the time we both were not flat earther, but now we found
So
us.
look, hold on a second. You have I just typed in Austria. How come I can't make that smaller? Oh, that's as far as it. Oh, I can't zoom out anymore. Um, you got a lot of new people there. All those orange dots are new people in the last 60 days.
Oh, okay, that's new.
Yeah, that's new. It's not out yet. It's coming out tomorrow, or in the next day
Ah,
or two. So orange dots are people that are new within 60 days. That way you can say, hey, somebody new. You can tap on them and up
great
comes,
idea.
you can text them, or this is here. This is their profile, but it's grayed out. They don't have a profile yet because they don't have this, but people will start adding profiles. Um, like on mine, if I hit the profile button on the right, up comes this. Well, this is still in beta. I can add a picture, information about myself, if I'm interested in work opportunities, relationship status. um, Interesting, right? And then you can other people can see that and they can contact you. You can put your social media in there. um, it's cool. It's not required, but you can do whatever you want there. And for some reason, because I'm plugged into the computer, it's frozen there. I don't know why it does
Yeah.
that. Let me unplug that.
I
There
don't
we go.
know. But I analyze it often. I watched the Friend Finder how many points, and I think in the German speaking areas, there's not so quite many blue dots like in another countries. Like
Oh,
in Britain, there are a lot of blue dots there, or in the States, yeah. But in compared to Austria, there are not so many
well,
here.
now you've got your work cut out for you. United Kingdom, there's tons. I mean, the United Kingdom is huge. You got to let it load. It takes a couple seconds. Um,
Yeah.
but have you? There's also group messaging. There's a good number of dots in there. If you hit the settings button, and I've chose 50 kilometers, so this
Mm.
is for me. I'm just going to go back home here. Um, I have 263 people within 50 kilometers, and I could send them a group message. Hey, having a meetup at ABC Pizza, 123 Main Street on Saturday at 2 p.m. And bam,
Yeah.
you have instant new best friends. And then
Flat of meetings.
another feature, um, if you're a member, if you've been a subscriber for 6 months or longer, and you don't have any spamming, people that blocking you because of spamming, you'll get right here. Yeah, have a new 100 kilometers. You'll be able to send messages to people at twice that distance.
Hmm.
You can always
Good.
send a message to anybody anywhere in the world, but if you want to do a group radius, you have to be a member in good standing. And the subscription, as you know, is $11 for the year. It's cheap. It's like buying a
It's very.
margarita. Okay.
And
And
and can you tell us, please? You don't do it for the money because there's a reason, yeah? Because it's a technique which have to be put
well,
money in it for.
here's the thing. This is my job. This is what I do. So I use this money to pay, my expenses, but I put a lot
Yeah.
of money into the app. I didn't do it for the money. I walked away, as I told you, I had my own business, very successful. I was making a ton of money, and I walked away from it all to have just enough money to pay my bills. I was like, hey, the app is just able to pay my bills if we don't go anywhere and I don't drive a lot and we don't go out for dinner a lot. I'll be fine, right? And so
It's
the app
just a
is
half a
growing. But
beer.
the other thing is, people are like, well, why don't you have it free for everybody? Well, when people message, it actually costs money, right? My monthly fees on this app are in the thousands of dollars. Okay. So when people say you want to do it for free, I'm like, how about you do it for free? Okay. So how about you go work for free? But here's the thing. I wanted to make it as cheap as possible. The app is $3 and you don't have to subscribe. You still get the messenger. You can still get notifications from other people. If they put in their email address, then you can contact them back. And most people, when they do a group, they say, please respond on email or Telegram. And it works. So you don't have to subscribe. $3. That's it. Google Play, Apple Store. You
Best
can
app.
scan this. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can't beat it.
Yeah, and read the rate.
Yeah, read the ratings. Read the ratings.
The ratings, yeah. Good. That's a part of your app, and I want to talk about the sun. How does it work in detail? Why in distance we normally expect that the sun shrinks, but all the time it looks like the same size. Can you show us why
Yeah.
we think it's a projection or yeah, and some
I,
other attitude?
I will. So wait, in the app, I'll show you a couple of things here. But in the app, if you hit the question mark and it's a what about sunsets? Where's that sunsets? Uh, where's the edge? Where's the sunsets one? One of these says, no, that's Southern Stars. There's one in here about sunsets. Why the lie? Tides, space agencies, Antarctica.
I'm looking also.
Where is it?
Where's
Where
the
does
sun?
the sun go? Top left. Great
Okay.
videos on here, tons of them, and they're fascinating. Just check them out. But I'll show you a couple things here. But one other thing I want to show you on the friend finder. If you want to look around the world easier, because this has to populate all the dots, and you can only zoom out a certain amount. You click this, the number count right here. It tells you how many dots are on the map, and it'll bring up
Mhm.
a web-based version where you can move around and see what's going on. But these dots aren't clickable. This is just a map showing you where everybody is. So you
Yeah.
can quickly,
And
look.
there's one blue dot in Antarctica. Do you know it?
There's two. So you got one
Two.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this
if I
dot.
switch to data, look at this. And this guy is right at the Casey station. So he's actually in this building. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know if you can see that. And then there's another one, which I tried to contact. He's all the way over here.
Here. Okay.
Yeah. And his name is It's Cold Here. Right. But I don't know who it is, how I don't know. And people are like, you put that dot there.
What
I have no ability to fake dots anywhere, nor would I. Um, but it's fascinating. So that's enough about
this
that.
guy would be? would we have interesting stories?
Yeah,
What's out there?
100%. So sunsets. Yeah. So the first thing is people say, well, you'd see the sun all the time. Well, there's no atmosphere, there's no clouds, there's nothing. And this light only lights up this section of the wall and the rest is dark. Now
Yeah.
add perspective, add an atmospheric layer that becomes opaque over distance, and you can't see the sun. The sun just goes beyond it and it looks like it sets, right? So,
Hmm.
and so people say, well, why doesn't the sun get smaller, right? Why doesn't the sun get smaller as it goes away? And there's a couple of reasons, right? Um, Atmospheric lensing, as it goes farther away, it's being magnified more. Okay. Um,
Hmm.
and also, there's also a perception. There's a, I forget the name of the principle, but when something is already far away from you, um, trying to find the video as I'm talking. Oh yeah, this one. So as this train moves away, perspective makes it smaller. That's why people think that the sun would get smaller, right? It's moving
Yeah.
away. It's right there at my eye level, and it's getting smaller and smaller, and it's just going to fade into the horizon. Um, these are level lines. This is a hallway with these rows. And you look here, these look like they're going down, but they're really
Yeah.
all parallel. Okay. So now we have the sun up here. You have this guy here, and he's looking at the sun. And here's an orthographic view where we're looking from the side. But this is what he sees. When the sun starts going away, right? It looks like it's going down due to perspective.
Hmm.
So this is what he sees. And it looks like it's going away. And now, because the sun is already away from him, just like these train cars, the train car is already small. So it kind of just stays the same size. Now, it is getting a little smaller because it's getting farther away, but it's also getting magnified at the same time. This is a ball, and here's another one 6 feet away. Okay. It's the same size, but it's smaller, just like you think the sun would get smaller, right? So
Yeah.
we got the camera here at eye level, just like the train, close train, far train, small, big, right? But if we lift the camera up, which is the same as just flip it over, you know, we have the ball away. Now I'm not getting any closer to this ball. I'm just getting farther from this one. Well, look what happens. They almost become the same size,
Hmm.
right? And it's because it's almost the same size. Now add a little bit of atmospheric magnification in there, and there you
Looks
go.
nice then.
You have your sunset. So here is a candle that looks like I'm pulling it down below the table, right?
It looks like, yeah,
It looks like
going
it,
down.
but it's actually just being pulled away. And this lens, this is a Pharrell lens, which represents the atmosphere with moisture in it, and the sun gets looks like it's getting bigger as it's getting smaller. So it's getting smaller due to perspective, but it's getting bigger because of magnification, right? Now this is not raising or lowering. This is just let me make that so you can see it a little better. Here we go. So here it is, just being pulled away, and it looks like it's going down, but it's still above the table. And that's how perspective works here on the flat Earth. So where did it go? Let's do. I'll show you my flat Earth kitchen because I bet you're going to ask about that.
Yeah, yeah, this is a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, so here we're looking at the path of the sun from an elevated celestial point of view, and the sun's going along this line. Now, this could be a mountain ridge, could be a city skyline, it could be just a cloud deck, but it's opaque and the sun never goes below it. Now, at the same time, I have a camera on the other end on the counter, well below this thing, watching it go away. And here we go. We're going to watch it from the other side. And look at this line. It looks like it's going down. And look at the sun. It looks like it's going below excuse me. It looks like it's going below this line here. And this mountaintop sky, whatever you want to call it, it looks like it's almost at eye level because of perspective. But we know that it's the camera is much lower than that. But it looks like the sun's going below it. The line looks like it's almost going straight down. Look at this line. It's level.
Yeah.
This is a level line. Well, here we go. We got the sun going away, It's going behind the atmospheric deck of opacity, and it looks almost exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
Why, why is that
Uh,
smaller?
great experiment what you have did.
Right.
But today, someone wrote me about your experiment, about your kitchen experiment, that you are out of scale, and that's why it doesn't prove what we are seeing. And
It
I
doesn't matter. It's out of scale. It's showing
yeah,
you what perspective does, right? You know,
shows you
if you
that feels like that it's going down, but in reality, it's going away. And the other guy doesn't didn't understood me what I mean, and yeah,
right when you look at you know things going away, here's streetlights, right? Here's the sun. It's the same thing, okay?
yeah,
And the sun. Oh, and by the way, the sun sometimes, excuse me, the sun sometimes. I'm losing my voice.
no problem.
Does get smaller. It does, depending on where you're looking. If you're not
Yeah,
looking over water, super dry atmosphere. Well, here's the sun, sped up. It's just going away. This is in Afghanistan, filmed by a soldier, and the sun just getting weaker and weaker and smaller, and it's just going away. It should be below the horizon if we're spinning, if we're falling over backwards. It's all absolute nonsense when you actually start to understand it. And Paul
yeah.
McCartney here singing "The Fool on the Hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round."
Yeah, in music or in films, they try to tell us the truth, but our mind is so brainwashing that we can't see it.
Truth in
And
the movies, lies in the news.
yeah, that's it. And can you? Yeah, I have so many questions about the sun, because there's examples why we think it's a projection, why we think it's electric. Can you tell us something about it? I know it's a big topic, but just that the audience understand yeah, what's the difference, how we see the world and not like them.
Well, when you look at the sun, it's not 93 million miles away. It's very, very, very close. And I don't believe that we all see the sun in the same position. I think we see it in a relative position. Um, to where the observer is. And I don't
Yeah,
believe that the sun that we see is an actual physical object. I believe it's a reflection or a projection within the dome. Um, and the sun is sending electricity to Earth, and that electricity is what heats things. It's what gives things energy. We're electrical beings. Plants, everything is electrical and magnetic. Those are the only true forces here on Earth, and that's what gives us life. We can't survive without electricity. We are electrical beings. There's free energy everywhere, and it's coming from the sun and the moon. We live in this giant Earth battery system. Um, so you know, solar panels collect electricity, right?
yeah,
Scientists don't know how solar panels work because they think the sun is a burning ball of hydrogen 93 million miles away, when in fact it's an electric transformer here, possibly in another dimension that we don't even understand. And its energy is being projected here within our Earth system. On the app, if you click the "What about eclipses" button, there's a video I made there showing how we see the sun not in its real position, and how eclipses could happen, how a solar eclipse could happen, and we don't ever see the moon, right? When
yeah.
during a solar eclipse, nobody ever sees the moon, right?
And how's this
Um,
possible, huh? If
Well,
there's a
and that's
new
because, yeah, so the Earth shine would light up the moon during a solar eclipse. You'd be able to see the moon. No one's ever seen the moon. When the moon goes
yeah.
new, no one ever sees it for like 60 hours, 42 to 60 hours. No one ever sees the moon. Um,
um
Go
Beside
ahead.
of that, at the eclipse, you told us a story last time when you see this eclipse. You looked at that without any glasses. So I want to talk about a little bit about sun gazing. What you can tell us about it.
Well, yeah, and again, I'm not telling anyone to go stare at the sun. It's like, going to the gym. If you've never been to the gym, don't go lift 300 pounds. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But the sun gives us energy. I'm always barefoot. I'm always staring at the sun. I can stare at the sun a couple hours before sunset and within sunrise, and I get great energy from it. And during the eclipse, think about this: if you understand what the mind control, govern the mind, government, what they
Yeah.
have in plans for us, you can basically understand that you don't want to do anything that they say. And when the one number one thing they say is, don't look at the sun. We'll give you these blinders so you can't see what's happening, and they give them out for free. Okay. When they're giving out something for free, watch out. Okay. It's because,
Yeah.
and think about what they're giving out for free and telling everyone you need this. Okay.
Yeah. Like this time during.
So we sat, watched the entire eclipse. My eyesight got better. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that the energy, the information downloads that you get from the sun, are beyond description. And I can't
I
wait for
think
another eclipse.
And I think sun gazing helped me that I don't need my glasses anymore because last year in March I put my glasses on and I saw there's something wrong. I can see better without my glass, and there are many
Right.
exercises for it. And one for it is sun gazing, and I also do it for years. I think 5 years. And last year I can looked in the sun in the mid sun for a few minutes, and of course it doesn't hurt me because I'm used to it because it needs years long training for yeah looking at the sun. And I'm not here to say to do it. If you want to start, then try to and then
Read
start
about it.
at the
Yeah.
sundown
And when I
when it's right.
started, like just before sunset, I could look at the sun for 2 seconds, 5 seconds, right? But
Yeah,
now I
but
can look at it. I don't know. I can look at it when it's pretty high. But again, they're also spraying our skies. It's harder and harder to get a
yeah.
clear sunset. What I'm showing you here is this kind of looks just like the sun. It's really a flashlight 10 feet on the other side of this sheet.
Mhm.
Okay. So, um, and I was like, so I have my girlfriend Paige. I said, "Where do you see the sun?" And she goes, "I see the sun right here." And she will point in a second. She sees it right
Yeah.
there, right? I see it there. I'm moving over to her now. That's where she sees it. So we're both seeing the
Mhm.
same thing in two different positions. Okay. But
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even there. That's just a reflection of what it really is. And I believe that's kind of how we see the sun. That's my opinion. Um, prove me wrong.
And can you show us the animation for it, the personal atmospheric dome? For me, it's very hard to find this clip, but it's a great example for showing the people why the sun is not there where we see.
Right.
The
So
the
there, I have another one. I know which one you want. Um,
oh, okay.
the Where is it? Where is it? Sunsets. Wait, are we in sunsets? We're in optics. Sunsets. Hold on. Here we go.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. So here comes the personal atmospheric dome. So, nope, that's not the one either. I have it somewhere. I should figure this out one day. There it is. Personal atmosphere. Well, this one is showing that we're always at the center of our dome of vision. We can't see forever. And so if the real sun is up here, this is where a person would see their sun. So the sun would wrap over, right? And as the sun goes, this is just different latitudes. And in a second, it's going to show you as the sun goes around, they see the sun come up over and set into the horizon. That's This was made by a glober, by the way, a guy that thinks the Earth is a globe. So it actually is a great animation, um, showing you how we see the sun. But I know which one you're looking for. I don't know why I can't find it. Um,
Because for me, it's hard to find for using it for my interviews, yeah, or for my audience.
it was made by Jaren. Jaren from Jarenism made it.
Really?
Um,
Okay, yeah, I know. Also a
Wait,
fan of him.
sunsets. It should be right here. It should be the personal atmospheric domes. Um,
Because it explains so many things. why people on this area and on this area see the sun in different positions. And it's so easy with this animation, and you have not only this animation, you have a small dome with the same experiment with the flashlight over it.
Right. Oh, here, this one. I'll show you that while I'm still looking. Um, so here I have a glass dome on
Yeah.
top of a blanket. And I'm just bringing a flashlight over, and inside the dome, you'll see this sun. Now, in person, it looks even better because it's literally inside there. It looks like a sun,
Mhm.
and it never goes below. It never goes below the
It's odd.
the edge. It just fades out. It just fades out. Right here it comes, coming back. Um, oh,
And
I
it's
got it.
noon.
I found what I was looking for. And there it comes, and then it just goes away and it stops on the horizon, just like we see here. Most people don't see the sun stop on the horizon because in the distance there's something that's blocking them. The optics of the clouds and the atmosphere are a landscape feature. But even on a clear day, over a short distance, the atmosphere becomes opaque and the sun will go behind it because the sun is above it, and that layer in the middle makes it so you can't zoom back in. Right? You have a boat on the water, the atmosphere comes down, and you can't see the boat. You zoom in, and you can see the boat again, but the
Yeah.
sun is above it. Anything celestial, so everything crunches down. The sun, everything crunches down. The sun just goes beyond it and gets hidden by it. Okay. And now you can't zoom in because this is
Mhm.
celestial. This is terrestrial in between my hands. And since you're terrestrial, but if you get I have a shot where I had the drone up in the air, super clear, super cold day, and I got the sun, it just faded out. It doesn't even go behind anything. It just can't push through the atmosphere anymore. Here's what you're talking about. Um, where'd it go? There it goes. Wow. Why isn't it showing? Here we go. Boom. So here's our point source light. Here's everybody is in their personal dome of vision. And as the
That is
light
right.
moves across this little point, that's where it's noon. It's noon. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, right? And as the sun moves around the earth, around the surface of the earth, um, you can see that these time zones.
Yeah. And every dome is the personal atmospheric dome. Also everyone has an own dome, also his
Right.
vision to the sun.
Right. When
It
we
explains
look,
so many things.
yeah, when we're looking forward, we can only see a certain direction, a certain distance in all directions. Okay. So when I don't remember where I put that. Oh, we see too far. Here we go. So when we look out, we see the sun in a certain position. Right, this is what I'm saying. So when we're looking forward, we see the same distance in all directions. So here and here and here, and it creates a circle,
It's the
right?
limit of our vision, yeah.
The limit of our vision. So if you add a line across that, you'll see that the straight line, well, the straight line's not wrapped, right? Because this yellow line here is farther away than the tip of this. So this is the limit of your vision, and it's a circle. And our programming tells us it's a sphere.
That's the reason why people say I can see the curvature of the plane, and
Yeah.
that's the reason. It's the limit of your vision, not the curvature.
Yep.
And that's the way how we have to try to deprogram us, yeah, because we are also brainwashing, indoctrinated to think in their way and not to think, not to question it, and yeah,
Right.
that's why we're doing that.
Right.
Um,
Rico, we're running over. I got another interview. I got to rest my voice for a few minutes.
okay.
And a final
Um,
question.
I have two points because a point what I can't give an answer for explaining why it's not on a globe Earth. Can you tell us what is the point? Um, we can, as they say, we can prove that the moon is 238 miles away because we can use a laser pointer, and the time distance can prove
238,000.
us.
Right.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? This model, with this
Well, no,
example?
they tell us there's a reflector on the moon, but they say they use the laser to target the moon before they went to the moon to figure out how far it was. And the whole story, that whole thing has been shut down because it's so fake, it's ridiculous. NASA, the liars at NASA run it. They basically have a computer. They fire like 5 million trillion photons,
Yeah.
and then one comes back, and the computer goes, bing, oh, we got one. And then a number shows up. Do you think you could write a little program to fake that? Oh, 238,701 miles and 67 feet. Okay. It's nothing. It's nonsense. Go and look at the moon on any, on a night when there was a nice bright moon out, and look at it when there's clouds, and you'll see that the moon just lights up the clouds that are near it, right? The moon
Yeah,
lights
yeah.
up the clouds that are near
Shows
it.
it's local. It shows it's
Yeah,
local.
because it's very local, right?
Um, two questions. So another question is, also from my member of my Telegram channel, how did you come into contact with the wrestling megastar Chris Jericho? So it was back in 2018. This interview, it was a podcast. How did you come in contact with him?
Don't remember. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was on another show that had some wrestlers, and he heard it. I don't remember. I
Okay,
don't
maybe
remember.
he contacted you.
Chris is
And
good. He knows the Earth is flat, but he doesn't want to ruin his career.
And the next highlight, there will be a second part of level called the next level. You will be a part of it. And are you excited? And can you tell us what you will present in this documentary? What is your
We're
part?
coming up with all different ideas. It'll probably be something to do with a big perspective demonstration, a seasons demonstration. Not sure. He wants to come here in February, so it's super cold here. I wish we could film it during the summer because then we could do stuff on the water. But we'll
Mhm.
see. I am doing a podcast with John Hibbler and ODD. We do a weekly podcast that's on ODD's YouTube channel, the first part, and then it switches over to Rockfin for the stuff that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. So you can
Yeah.
find that out. Check it out, ODD TV, if you want to catch that.
And one of my favorite things, interest things, is back in August in your interview with Catherine Michelle, you showed her a clip of the globe, yeah, which is rotating in a classroom. I want to point something out of this clip. Do you know what which clip I mean?
Yes, this one.
Yeah, and have you seen it?
I
Right in
just
the
saw it. So right, I can stop it.
west south of Australia. What's this big island? This big
Hold on,
spot?
let me
Have
go back a little bit.
there you can see it. Nobody ever mentioned it, I think. Yeah, and that's why I'm quite interested to ask you. What's that?
What's this?
Yeah, this. Yeah. What's this?
Yeah, what is that? Is it still there? Is it no longer there? How would we even know? How would you get there? You can't see it from here. Um, these are restricted waters out here. GPS can steer you around it, right? And you wouldn't even know because GPS could go this way, go that way. You don't even know you're turning, right? Who knows? Maybe that's where where where
I think
all
it's
the
part of this Mandela effect. And one or two questions about Mandela effect. Yeah,
maybe
because
Epstein's
um,
there.
have you how many? So what do you remember? How many rows did the car have when JFK was shot in it? How many rows did it
Two,
have? How
two,
much?
two.
Two. Yeah, in my remember also. But if you look up, you see 3 rows of this convertible car.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Three
I'm
rows.
friends with Brian Stavely, who does all the Mandela stuff, and there's so many new ones coming out now. Like the first tack on America was Black Tom. Never heard of it. They're lying about all sorts of stuff. All of our history is a lie. And I have a prediction in 20 years from now, Building 7 will never have existed in New York City. And if those of you that don't know what Building 7 is a 47-story skyscraper that fell on 9/11 at free fall speed and was never hit by an airplane. And the news media never mentions it.
2 airplanes and I think 5 or 7 buildings.
7 buildings
collapsed.
Yeah.
7 buildings collapsed. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy.
And I still have so many questions. I know you have an appointment, and maybe in a few weeks, in a few months, maybe a next part.
We'll try again in a few months. Yeah. No worries.
Oh, very good. Thank you. And yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much for taking your time on my channel today. You're a very inspiring person, a big role model due to your humor, your charms, and your personality in general. It was a big honor. Please tell us, our people, where they can find you. And then
you can find me at flatearthdave.com. That's all you got to remember. flatearthdave.com. Links to the app are there. Links to my podcast are there. Links to some flat earth information, artwork, all sorts of stuff that you need. Also
put in my description.
Yeah. And if anyone's looking that has a show that's looking for an interview, flatearthdave.com. You can book me there.
Yeah, do that. I have also a video with the big Dave. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a
Rico,
great pleasure.
Keep doing. More people need to do what you're doing. Get out there.
Yeah, I do it in German.
You talk to 5 people, then you talk to 10 people, then you talk to 100 people, then you go, and then you don't know who you're going to talk to. So if everyone did what you're doing, everyone would wake up to the flat earth and we'd get all of our freedoms back, just like you were saying. What would happen? Well, guess what? We'll find out what happens, right? Everybody get out there, share flat earth with everybody you know.
Let's talk about it. Change your mind. Do what...
Yeah, and use the app. Show them the images. Show them the videos. Sit with them. Show them how it works. Turn the time lapse on, and it hypnotizes them. It starts going, and while they're watching it go around, you talk to them very nicely, and you'll hypnotize them, right? And because but here's the thing: your soul knows the earth is flat, knows that you're at the center of creation, knows that you are a piece of God. Your brain has been mind controlled by the television, by the liars, by the government, right? And your soul is trying to talk to your brain, but there's too much chatter going on. It can't hear, right? Once you see flat earth, all of a sudden you start listening to your soul again. It's amazing.
And that's a big journey for everyone. Yeah.
Rico,
Dave,
gotta go.
Thank you. See you soon, I hope. Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks. See ya.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
You all love the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. The best tool to show your friends and strangers how the Flat Earth actually works. But are you ready for a Flat Earth app game changer? A new feature has been added. But first, a reminder of some of the existing features. Video of the day. World time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add a countdown to your next big date. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth. Top 21 frequently asked questions with quick pop-up video answers. Access to the best photos and GIFs at your fingertips. Flat Earth books and merchandise, and more. Now, the game changer upgrade we've always dreamed of having. After a year in development, our app just went next level. You're now able to find Flat Earth app users near you. See where they are and send them an instant message in the app. Instantly arrange for a Flat Earther meetup. When activated, blue dots mark the location of the app users near you. You have 3 choices on showing your location. PP, to pinpoint. This marks your exact location. CC, for city center, which will place you within a few miles of your current location. Or turn off, which removes you from the map altogether. Use it when traveling, or when you're out for a day at the beach, or while eating out somewhere. Find out where other Flat Earthers are and connect. Find like-minded Flat Earth app users and regain your sanity. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our Flat Earth actually works.